Coming to you live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip, it's Top of the Food Chain. And now your host, he's 1 part Mohawk, 2 parts attitude, and a touch of what the It's Al Mancini.
I thought you were going to forget to clap that time because we didn't tell them to beforehand. I don't remember. Hey, welcome to Top of the Food Chain. I am your host, Al Mancini, a man who is not legally permitted to celebrate Labor Day because, according to all my friends, what I do here doesn't count as work. But anyway, and it really isn't when you see what we're doing today. It's just fun. But we are at Top of the Food Chain. You are on the Vegas Video Network. Hopefully everybody is watching live right now on the Vegas Video Network. And if so, we've got a live chat going on. So you can just log on to the chat room and shoot any questions you have. Today's topic is going to be chili peppers and tequila, just because it seemed like fun to add that. But mostly chili peppers, so if you have questions, hit us up right now, get on the chat line, and we will be answering them with my guest, Mike Miner from Border Grill, in just a few seconds. In the meantime, if you want to see past episodes here of Top of the Food Chain, they're all archived at the Vegas Video Network, which is vegasvideonetwork.com. You can find them on iTunes. You can get audio or video versions of them. You can find them on YouTube. We are on Roku right now. And all of my stuff is archived at almancini.net. And you can find all my blogs over there and everything else. And, of course, follow me on Twitter. AlManciniVegas is my little Twitter handle, or whatever it is, as people call it. And we were just saying, I've been Twittering a lot lately, so you should start following me. Anyway, whoa, what else do we have going on? 1400 AM. You can check us out every Friday night, 1400 AM. All of these shows here on the Vegas Video Network air live at KSHP. And you can leave questions. If you're a radio listener, you can call in and record a question at 866-966-4599. If you've got a question for a future show and you prefer the email to the old-fashioned phone line, it's food@vegasvideonetwork.com. Is this getting longer, Scott, every week?
We're just building. I've got another announcement that we're working on, a press release that we're going to put out Tuesday that even makes it longer.
We're going to have to hire one of those people that is at the end of...
those super fast talkers?
Yeah, the super fast talker guy at the end of the radio. This does not include car tax, taxes, whatever.
Right. Your mileage will be vary.
Need one of those people up there. So, Scott, how are you, my friend?
It's good, man. I got to ask about the T-shirt, brother.
Yeah, it's the first time I think you've ever seen me not wearing black.
It is.
Right? Yeah, it's blue. They don't make these shirts in black. It's my Brooklyn Law shirt, and I have to tell you, because I guess college football season is starting this weekend.
Yep.
And so one of my buddies is having a big college football kickoff party, and everybody's going to come, and they're all going to reminisce about their alma maters and their school teams and wear their shirts. And I can't really do that because I didn't go to a school with a football team. So I just figured I'd dig out my old Brooklyn Law School shirt and wear it around and try to get into that college school spirit thing.
When I think of you as a college spirit kind of guy.
Yeah, well, that's why I brought my law school shirt, not my undergrad. But even at undergrad, I was at Seton Hall, and they didn't have a football team either, which wouldn't have mattered to me because I didn't give a damn about football. But it just makes it hard to bond with the guys.
It is. What else have you been up to, brother?
And also, this is the last shirt, I think, in my drawer that people haven't seen on this show yet. Because we're in week.
So you're out of shirts?
Well, I'm out of shirts. So if anybody's got cool T-shirts, you want to trade, send me a cool T-shirt. Because I pride myself on my T-shirt collection. It's rather eclectic, but I don't like to wear the same one twice, and I'm kind of out, so you got to do some shopping. Okay, that's what's also up for this weekend, probably shopping. What's up with you, Scott?
Like I said, we're just closed another distribution thing that we'll be talking about come next Tuesday, so we're excited about that. Getting ready for the 3-day weekend. I, in fact, do work, so I'll be taking Monday off, as will everybody else on the network.
Yeah, well, you're over there just pushing buttons. I actually have to talk. I mean, I actually don't have to do that. I simply have to talk. You do the, all the technical stuff. I don't have to bother with that. So,
right.
Like people tell me, this isn't a job. I go out and eat, and that's what I've been doing. Have you been enjoying Restaurant Week so far?
You know what? We talked about it on the show on Tuesday. We think that's one of the coolest things there is in Vegas, and yet we haven't had a chance to get out there yet. Have you?
I've been going to the parties. Haven't actually made it to any of the official Restaurant Week meals, but I hope to be doing that this weekend. Some great kickoff parties, though. Kerry Simon had a big shebang over at KGB Burgers in Yeah, in Harrah's. That was really cool. You can see pictures of that. They're already up on my website. I got to talk to your golf buddy, though, the guy that does the golf show here, Scott,
Dennis.
because there was this huge raffle, and there were probably and you can see all the items over at almancini.net that were available in this raffle, but a lot of it was booze, really rare booze and nice booze and large bottles of booze and expensive booze. So, I shelled out $20, got some raffle tickets, and they started raffling things off. My numbers got drawn twice in a row. First was for a golf bag, and second was for a set of really nice golf balls and a bright red golf Nike shirt. So I may actually have to wear that shirt on the air soon if I don't get any new T-shirts. But yeah, I've never golfed in my life. Can you use like those golf bags and that stuff when you miniature golf?
Yes, that probably would have helped your score at the first invitational.
I don't think anything would help my score at the first invitation.
Maybe another shot.
Another shot, yeah. If the bar had been a little better.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah. So that was my big win here for Restaurant Week. I won golf stuff that I'll never use. A nice Corona Extra golf bag. I don't know if they're considered fancy or what, but it was cool. So if I ever do golf, at least I can represent beer. And then last night, an oyster shucking contest, Scott. A shucking and eating contest.
What's the name of that?
That was Shuck and Swallow.
Yes.
And reps from about 10 restaurants here in town all got together over at First Food and Bar. And it was two-man teams. I should say in most cases two-man. In one case it was a man and a woman. And one of them shucked the oysters and the other one swallowed the oysters. And the winning team came from P.J. Clark's. And in 10 minutes, what would you guess would be extreme? What would you think would be a winner?
Well, for me, one would be extreme. But I would say, 10 minutes? I could probably 20.
Not even close. 136 oysters.
Oh, man.
Shucked and swallowed.
Was there a bucket next to them?
It was a 10-minute oyster shucking and swallowing period, and then they had to wait 10 minutes to make sure no one vomited.
Nice.
To be officially by the rules. None of the teams puked, and P.J. Clark's went home. It was a Vegas record. They're going to go on to the Nationals. Unbelievably, that's not a national record. 136 oysters in 10 minutes.
Well, they must be very proud.
They must be, and I'd just love to know how they felt this morning, waking up like that.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that was a blast. Tonight we're going over to Rayo's for Restaurant Week. There's a nice little event over there and a tribute to one of the late managers, Bubbles. So I encourage people to come out to that and enjoy Restaurant Week.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, we will be talking chili peppers in just a second, but first, Scott's got a message for you.
No pressure. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers from, can't think of the name of my damn show. Golf and other four-letter words, and you're watching the Vegas Video Network, I think.
Yes, you are watching the Vegas Video Network. You're watching Top of the Food Chain, to be specific, and I'm your host, Al Mancini. And I'm here with a good friend, Chef Mike Miner from Border Grill. Mike, how are you, man?
Hey, Al, thanks for having me.
Great to see you, brother.
Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm a little more alert than I was last time I saw you in your restaurant. That's when we were bar hopping the other night.
We all do it.
You made some good food. Of fun. I went to Shark Reef that night, too. That was really cool.
I love Shark Reef. It's one of my favorite places to go when I'm all stressed out. I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
When everything hits the fan, man, I go there to try to relax a little.
Yeah, so Border Grill, for those of you who are not quite familiar, it's tucked in the back of Mandalay Bay, sort of over by the Shark Reef. Got a beautiful view of the pool. Great place to check out people in skimpy bathing suits out the window. It's very nice.
I mean, I wish we had a window in the kitchen because then it would be a lot of fun.
But the food would not get there as quickly, probably.
No, probably not. We'd be, what's going on? So that's okay.
And Border Grill, of course, anybody who watches TV or reads about food, any real foodie knows your bosses, Susan Finnegar and Mary Sue Milliken. And those are, of course, the two hot tamales, and they are known for founding Border Grill. But you're the guy that's in the kitchen day in and day out.
I'm the third tamale that they never talk about. So, I'm the very, very spicy tamale. It's wonderful working for the ladies. They're amazing, incredible chefs, really outside of the box thinking people. And just bringing Mexican to the forefront is pretty incredible. So to work for them, I'm super honored, really.
Cool. And I've been wanting to have you on for a while because I want to talk chili peppers. And man, when I asked you to bring some chili peppers, you didn't mess around.
Well, no, I'd like to think that I work in a Mexican restaurant. I better know chilies, right? So I brought some of my very favorite chilies, and along with that, I brought some salsas that kind of you can relate to. Like if you were making this chili, what would you do with it and what kind of salsa.
And you brought us some good beer and some good tequila
I
as well,
did.
right?
You know, we've got to have, I think of chilies, I think of salsa and chips and beer and tequila, so why not?
So tell me about the beer you brought for us.
Well, this beer is really, really cool. We just started serving it at Border Grill. It's called Victoria. Victoria, evidently, is the oldest Mexican beer in all of Mexico. It was the original beer that they created. I tasted it. I truly love it. I'm a big fan, so I brought one for you, and I hope we could
give it a
take
shot.
a little sip.
Cheers,
huh?
man.
Cheers to you. Perfect on a hot summer day or a
that's good, definitely.
cold day or any day.
Any day,
really. Yeah,
any day.
yeah, any
So
day.
how old is this? I mean, not this particular beer, but do you
Well,
know?
I was just going to say, this one's pretty new. I just got to the restaurant yesterday.
Right.
I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll Google that and
Yeah,
look it up.
we should find out. That'd be
So
great.
we're also going to talk a little bit about tequila. For now, let's have the beer for a second.
Okay.
And then we'll also have you mix up some margaritas, maybe.
You know, I was thinking we got to try the margaritas and good tequila, and we can talk about these chilies.
Yeah. So let's start off by talking about chilies. How many types of chili peppers are in the world?
If I had to guess, I mean, honestly, I don't really know that off the top of my head, but I know for sure that I've encountered over 200 different kinds of chilies. And when I say 200 kinds of chilies, I'm talking Latin chilies, Spain, Guatemala, Mexico, those kinds of chilies. And the cool thing about some of the chilies is that they actually cross over from Asian food to Mexican food. And that's really encouraging and nice and fresh to see that.
Yeah. But generally, chilies, how would you define them as a whole? Is it just any pepper that's spicy, or is there a more specific?
No, I mean,
rule?
chilies are all over. Typically you would find like a chili is typically very, very hot. A pepper is not so hot, more of a mild. Like, for instance, a bell pepper. Mm-hmm. A bell pepper is still considered a chili, but you don't call it a chili because it's not very spicy.
Okay.
So when you get into very, very hot things like the habanero, you don't want to say it's a pepper, it's a chili.
Right.
So.
Okay, so I want to start by running down what you've brought here and give people an idea of chilies on a scale of, say, 1 to 10 in the spiciness or the heat that's going to be associated with peppers. Mm-hmm. And then I want to talk about, how you use them and how you prepare them. But now you brought a list here of 11 chili peppers.
I did.
And could we throw that up on the screen? So they go from 1 to 10 plus. So we've got the negro, then a little hotter is the chipotle, then the ancho
chili,
and then which is a 3. We've got then the cascabel.
Cascabel.
My eyesight's really bad. Sorry, that's a 4. What do we have up next?
Then we have the arbol at a 5.
Okay.
Jalapenos are at a 6. Serranos are about the same thing. It's just a different bit of a flavor, but they're both about the same heat at a 6. Then you have an ají amarillo, which is a Peruvian yellow chili. That is very, very hot. Now you're getting up into the really hot chilies. It's an 8. Then you have margarita, which is a different species of jalapeno. Very, very hot, smoky, a number 8. And then the 2 that are my very favorites, one that I actually use a ton and we get a lot of requests at the restaurant is habanero. Habanero is at a 10. And then last but not least is the ghost chili, which is a 10 plus. That is the hottest natural grown chili on the planet.
Okay, so let's start with the mildest.
Yeah.
That you pulled up for us.
Okay,
Which one were we
well,
talking about?
you know what? Really, the ancho is going to be one of the mildest chilies that we have here.
Okay,
so for me, a really great thing, a couple things, you guys, is that
it's very flat, very dark.
It is dark, and the one thing I learned about chilies when I started working with them is that they taste the way they look. So, for instance, this chili is dark and rich. So the smell,
it almost
the
has
taste,
a sweetness to it.
It's sweet. You're going to get a nice sweet flavor from it, and it's not hot at all. So this is kind you'd see in moles, very, very typical. You don't want a mole, which is an authentic chili sauce, to be hot.
And what pepper is this again?
This is the Ancho Chili.
Ancho, okay.
Ancho Chili, which is...
when I'm smelling it, I almost smell kind of molassesy.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, really, this is a poblano, started out fresh. So they take poblanos, dry them out, and then they become the Ancho Chili.
Okay.
Which is originated in Puebla, Mexico, which the first mole was originated in Puebla.
Now, another kind of converted chili is a chipotle, right? That starts off as something else?
It is. It starts out... Can you show us chipotle? I can. Okay, so what we got here is the chipotle. Now, these are, honestly, they got to be one of my favorite chilies to use. They're all smoky flavor. You don't get a ton of spice out of them. what happens is these are jalapenos. These are jalapenos that are left on the tree until they get red. I brought you one so you could kind of see what it looks like. So this is how they are on the tree, and basically these are old vine-ripened jalapenos. They wait until they turn red. This is fresh. You pick them right away. This is where they let them go. And what happens is they let them go. They let them start drying out. When they start drying out and get it wilted, they pick them and pull them. Then they take them, these, and turn them into this.
So we start off with the green jalapeno.
You start off with this goes to the grocery store. Everybody buys that. Mom and dad make great things. This stays on the chili, on the tree. The farmers come by and pick them after they started wilting even more. I got lucky to get one of these. Then they take them. Every 2 hours for the next 3 days, they smoke these chilies. And they smoke them until all of the moisture is completely gone out of the chili. What you have left is a nice kind of prune type chili, and if you crack it right open the middle, smell, you can see even some of the smoke came out of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it
incredible.
smells like a forest fire, really.
It's super great. It makes great salsas, things that you want to have a flavor, but you don't want to, you don't want to have hot food.
And you said this is only like a 2 or 3.
It's really, really, really
so
low.
It gets, as it ages and smokes, it loses spiciness.
It totally does. It does. I mean, if you want to use spice, this is not the chili. This is for flavor and smokiness of whatever you're making.
I think that's kind of counterintuitive to some people. You would think that when you age something and dry it and concentrate it, that it would become spicier or hotter.
Yeah, well, it's actually just that species of pepper, because in most cases that is true. But with that chipotle, or they call it Big Brown, it's just designed to be smoky.
Okay, so let's talk about other ones that people may not see around a lot. Actually, we talked about chipotle, talked about how to use them. Yeah,
yes.
Let's take another unusual pepper, and we'll talk to people a bit about how they can use it at home.
Okay, great. This is one of my very favorites. This is called a Cascabel. In Mexico, that means little bell. They also call it rattle, and all the chilies are loose inside the rattle, so you can see that. Yeah. Take that. That's very, very cool. These are one of my very favorite chilies. Again, it's a dark.
Hear that on the mic?
Yeah, it's a dark, rich chili. You see the color, you know what it's going to be like. Versus you pick up something bright red, you know that's going to be hot. Red says it's hot. This is very unique because of the flavor it gives off. It does give off almost a chocolate flavor. This again, so if you took like this chili, the Ancho Chili, you could roast them in the oven, take all the seeds out of them, grind them with garlic and onions and chicken stock. You got yourself a nice chili sauce. So one of my very favorites. The great thing about chilies nowadays too is that as our culture develops and gets more in tune with Mexican food, the grocery stores today are selling all kinds of wonderful chilies like this. They actually even have a little section in the grocery store where you can buy every one of these chilies.
So I don't have to go to a Mexican market.
No, you don't have to do that anymore. I mean, Smith's carries it, Albertsons carries them. You'd be surprised on the selection of Latino foods that are available.
I want to talk a bit about, so you have your recipe and you want to use a chili.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions to people about how you actually prepare them, how you cut them, whether the seeds are what gives it. Let's take a jalapeno, for example. The conventional wisdom is it's the seed that gives it its heat.
It can go either way, and typically what happens with the seed, and this is a good one to show you, it's the time of the year that they pull these off of the trees. The longer they go, they start blistering. And when you see these blisters on the jalapeno, that tells you that this is a very hot jalapeno. Okay, so the time of the year they picked it, the temperature, how long it sits in the sun, and then the membrane of the actual chili itself. That is also the very hot part of that. When you cut the chili open, here, we can do that right now if you don't mind.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so we can see that, and I can kind of show everybody. So the membrane, which is this part here, is very, very hot. The inside part is very, very hot. The seeds are hot as well, too, but not quite as the whole entire thing. And again, the blistering on the side of the jalapeno tells you that this is a hot jalapeno, and if you're not used to spice, you may want to stay away from it.
And just smelling it, it's hot.
You're just smelling it, it's hot. But it's got that, for me, it reminds me of green bell pepper. And it's kind of, if you smell that nice freshness of it, unfortunately, it's very, very hot and nothing like a green bell pepper.
Do you recommend when people are working with chili peppers that, I mean, first of all, the first thing now I know is don't touch my eyes,
Yes.
right? Because I'm going to go blind and the
Oh
show
my
will be
gosh.
over and Scott will have to take over and it'll be. So don't touch your eyes. But do you recommend people wear gloves?
I do definitely wear gloves. The hotter the chili, don't mess around. Don't try to be, you know, a big bad hero and messing with chilies. I've done it my whole entire career. I feel comfortable doing that. I know where to touch the chili, where not to. You know, if you do have bare hands, you always want to grab the chili by the stem. Never do this to the chili.
As I was just
As
doing.
you were
Great,
just
I'm gonna
doing,
be
you'll
in
get
trouble.
hot.
Thanks for warning me. I
Yeah, well, no
appreciate
problem.
that.
You know, my first experience working in a Mexican restaurant, the chef caught me. Like, hey, you got something on your eye. I'm like, oh, okay. And it was all over.
Yeah.
You guy, I can't believe you did that.
Well, at least you
learn.
didn't send you to use the men's room. That could have been worse.
Yeah, that could have been worse. as
Could have
well.
burned something far worse than your eyes.
that- no doubt.
So, okay, so there's some basic advices on how to use chili. What's your favorite, what would your favorite recipe be to take advantage of fresh chilies?
Moles, definitely. Fresh chilies or dried?
Or any chili, whatever
Well,
you get
for
from
me,
the store.
honestly, dried chilies are my very, very favorite. I love the process in them. I love how you take a fresh chili, you dry it, it turns into a different flavor, the smell, the texture, everything. My very favorite thing to do in the restaurant is make mole. I feel like I'm a aficionado when it comes to mole. I've been working on.
Mole is, excuse me for cutting you off, but that is a difficult, I mean, there's like 20 ingredients that have to all come together and blend together perfectly. Can beginners really take a stab at a mole?
Oh, you better believe it. In all honesty, I mean, people's taste buds in mole, they really don't know a ton about mole. You can start off with a mole. I've been working on a mole for 7 years that I really enjoy and I think has been great. And how I did that is I started experimenting when I was a kid. Hey, what happens when I do it with this chili? Of course, a mole is 99% all dried chilies. So I take these chilies, and the great thing about these chilies, here's another one, chili negro. So again, a black chili, you know this chili is gonna be very, very mild and just nice and earthy flavor. I take all those chilies, you roast them in the oven for a few minutes, and what happens is they get very, very soft. All the natural oils come out of the chili. You smell it in the oven. As soon as you smell that, that whole smell permeates through the whole entire kitchen. You pull those chilies, open them up, pop the seeds out, and you start sauteing. You know, and you get onions and carrots and celery, whatever you want to do. I mean, there's really no rules in my book. I think just a great sauce is the key.
Mole is very misunderstood because people think it's a spicy chocolate sauce. I mean, that's kind of the definition that everybody knows. So they think it's going to be like, I don't know, a jalapeno flavored Hershey bar or something.
Yeah, I know. It's
You know?
totally not. Actually, the chocolate is there to enhance the chili flavor, not to make it sweet. And not all moles have chocolate in them. So.
Right. Do you enjoy working with chilies for their heat more or for their flavor? Or is it a combination?
It's both. It depends on what I'm cooking. If I'm making you today, I made you some really hot, spicy food. My idea was to grab the hottest chilies I could, roast them with garlic and whatever. If I'm making an enchilada sauce, you know, I may want to use a guajillo chili, which is a very traditional, authentic chili that you would find in a red enchilada sauce.
Okay. Well, let's talk a bit about making just a basic homemade salsa.
Yeah.
Because that's something I've always enjoyed doing. It's pretty basic. And
I love it,
You put
too.
out your own salsa at a party, it's so much cooler.
It's
I mean,
so much
especially with
fun.
Labor Day coming up, you know?
Absolutely.
How do you know, what type of salsa would you recommend people
Well,
start
I
with?
brought you 3 here that we kind of serve in the restaurant. I wanted to show you. One is this here. This is a green tomatillo salsa. It's not cooked. It's all fresh ingredients. Fresh tomatillos, fresh jalapenos, fresh cilantro, fresh squeezed lime juice, and that is it. You just puree it. How simple is that? You puree it. You put it in the refrigerator. When your friends show up, you know, especially on a hot summer day, it's nice and tart, salty, limey, perfect.
Yeah, very refreshing.
Very refreshing, exactly. If you want to follow that up, say with a chipotle salsa, like I brought the chipotles here, you just take those, some garlic and onions, tomatoes, cook it, puree it, and you get this here,
that one there.
which
It's
is
the
a
end
nice,
result.
which is an end result. This is a very mild and smoky flavored salsa.
Let's just get a shot of that without ruining my tablecloth there. Got that, Scott? Yeah, and this is very smooth by comparison to the other one. And is that just a question of how much you puree it?
Yep, it's all in the technique of how much you're straining it and pureeing it. I mean, we do a lot of that, to be honest with you.
I like to do salsas a lot of times where you just really take the tomatoes and the peppers and your onions and your garlic and you leave it nice and chunky.
Yeah,
Like
you
super
can
chunky.
hand mash them. You know, we do family meal at the restaurant, and all my cooks and stuff bring out, they make their homemade chilies, and they'll even throw chunks of avocado in it. They'll throw chunks of tomato, and they mash it by hand almost, and it becomes this really fresh tomato-flavored salsa that it's hard to duplicate, to be honest with you.
These are great. Now, what kind of chips do you recommend using with these?
Just a nice fresh corn, 100% yellow corn chip is my thing.
Is it easy for people to make their own if they don't want to go with like?
You know, again, if you go to the market where you find all these chilies, you'll see right next to that all the tortillas, all the flour corn tortillas. You can buy yourself rounds, like 6-inch tortilla, cut it in 4s, and fry them in your little fat fryer. I mean, it's pretty easy to do.
Okay. Now, we want to talk a bit about tequila.
Yes.
And I know we're not
One
really.
of my other favorite things.
We don't have to give people a margarita recipe per se because everybody kind of has their own favorite. But how do you recommend if people are going to put out some salsa and maybe make a nice margarita this weekend? What type of you want to go with a Blanco tequila?
Yeah, for me, I think a Blanco is really good in a margarita. I brought today Patron Platinum, which is a triple distilled silver tequila. It's the only triple distilled silver tequila they make. I'm doing a Patron dinner at the restaurant, so I thought, why not bring Patron here today and kind of give you a little taste of what's going on next week.
And I want to talk about that dinner in a second, but first, why don't you mix us up some?
Let's do that, huh?
Mix us up some margaritas.
So here, I'm going to just make you one like I do in the restaurant. You know, we take agave nectar.
And you've got a little in there already.
I already got a little in there. I'm just going to put this in there. So again, agave nectar, fresh squeezed lime. That's our
Where's somebody
secret.
going to find agave nectar?
In the grocery store, again, believe it or not, agave nectar has become so popular. We're going to add a little tequila.
That never hurt anybody at this
No, that
show,
never
man.
hurt anybody at all. So I just put ice in there, and then we'll just top it off of there. Okay, a little margarita.
Okay.
And for me, I just like a simple margarita. It doesn't need to have all kinds of crazy stuff. Nice, lots of lime, great tequila.
Excellent.
Yeah, tasty, huh?
Really good, man. Really good.
Thanks.
Now, let's talk. You do these tequila dinners, and I was fortunate enough to go to one. You can see pictures on my website again, almancini.net. We had some
we had so
photos.
much fun.
We had a good time.
Yeah, it was cool.
You were actually cooking outside, and Mary Sue and Susan were both there. How frequently do you do those tequila dinners?
Well, I do them about every 3 months. We really try to get on a little more of a schedule and do a couple back-to-back because we haven't done them in so long. It's been about 7 months. We actually started getting some hate mail. Hey, what the heck is going on? Why no tequila dinners?
Need our tequila.
Yeah, so we did, and we kind of even stepped it up. You know, every tequila dinner is something different. The one you came to, I brought the whole entire kitchen to you, so you could see kind of the trials and tribulations of what we go through in the kitchen.
That's always a
everyday
blast.
thing.
I mean, for people that are serious foodies, getting the chance to sit in the kitchen or have a bird's eye view of the kitchen is just so much fun because, you know, I call it kind of choreographed chaos.
Yep.
You know,
It
I
is.
mean, it's
It is
insanity,
controlled
but
chaos.
you know what you're doing and you work like a team and, you know, it's almost like, you know, watching a sporting team. Like you're throwing things off to each other, and it's cool. So the Patron dinner, yes, I know, Scott, that's about my knowledge of sports, watching people in the kitchen. Thank you.
Hey, that's a great sport. Hopefully they'll have it in the
unfortunately, you
Olympics
can't bet on it. I mean, it would be nice if you could.
Yeah,
but
that would be nice.
So the Patron dinner is when?
It's going to be September 8th. Again, I'm going to bring the whole entire kitchen outside one more time. I'm doing a whole pig that I'm roasting. We're doing this whole gaucho theme. A gaucho is a Mexican cowboy. So I want to cook everything that they would if they were out in Mexico on the range, they were eating. We're going to have a whole pig. We're going to have rabbit stew. We're going to have really great, like, chorizo cornbread, all kinds of cool things.
Now, the Gauchos, of course, are credited with inventing churrasca, which is the South American type of barbecue that if you've ever been to a churrascaria rodizio where they cut off the big slabs of meat at your table, that's a churrasca, that's the style of barbecue. Are you going to be using that same type of barbecue?
This is a little bit different. This is, no, not quite.
Okay.
But it'll still be incredible.
I'm sure it will. And then how many courses do people get?
5 courses. Plus, I do pass appetizers, which we will pass about 4 appetizers while they're kind of mixing and mingling. We serve margaritas as well. Then everybody comes into the room, sits down. We go through this whole entire thing. We bring the tequila maker out. I come out through every single course, tell you how I incorporated the tequila into the drink, into the food, and It's just a really great, not only is it a great dinner, but it's kind of educational, it's interactive. Everybody who has come has been at least once, and it's just a really great party.
Sounds good. I'm trying to think more about chili peppers. What else we need to tell people?
Well, a couple things. I brought a couple more things for you. I brought these habaneros here, which we love a lot. We have a salsa in the restaurant. It's called Diablo.
Which are the habaneros?
The habanero here is the yellow orange here.
Okay.
This
it
is a,
doesn't look that scary.
No, it doesn't look. It actually looks very pretty, like a little mini pumpkin. But you would be surprised to find out how hot this is. We have a salsa that's in our restaurant that we make. We don't offer it at the table, but people just know to ask for it. Hey, you got that hot salsa? We call it Diablo. So we roast those habaneros with some tomatillos, and you end up with this Diablo.
And I found that a lot of really good Mexican restaurants, they'll have a habanero salsa in the back that they don't tell people about. But if you ask, and you're one of those people that likes to burn your mouth, then you want to try it. I'm going to try that. But in the meantime, so that I'm not embarrassed, Scott, why don't you tell us what the question is on the chat line?
Yeah, 2 questions. Bill wants to know, can you restate an easy salsa recipe with using a medium type of chili? And then Nate wants to know, do you have that 10-plus chili you talked about on the table?
Yes, I do. Let's start with that one, because that one I'm really excited about. I've been really kind of playing around with it. It's a ghost chili. Like I said in the beginning of the show, this is the hottest natural grown chili in the world. This thing is no
Where is it
joke. It's grown in India. It is super, super, super hot. It's been so hard to find. It's almost impossible to find. For whatever reason, it's pretty popular.
I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure there's a hamburger over in Aria where they mix those ghost chilies into the hamburger meat. And supposedly, if you can get through the whole thing without throwing up or crying or whatever, you get a free beer, which doesn't seem worth it to me.
That's cool.
But that's over in, I think, Skybox at Aria. And I think you won't get them whole like that, but you get them mixed in. What do you use that for?
Well, right now I'm just kind of playing around with it in the restaurant. I'm making some hot salsas. You know, we made some salsa. This is kind of what I'm doing with it right now. I'm also just playing around with a contest as well. I have this thing, it's called Chef Mike's Death Fries. And I take French fries and I make a powder out of that, and I toss it with cinnamon and coriander and salt and these chilies. So the balance of it really tricks your mind. You eat it, you taste this sweet coriander, cinnamony thing, and then all of a sudden, bam, the ghost chili really hits you. You okay?
These salsas are hot. I'm not chugging this just because I want.
That's why I bought the margarita for us. So I'll tell you what, I won't leave you hanging. I'll do it with you.
And well, now are you going to be able to speak and tell them the simple salsa recipe with the mild, medium level chili they were talking about?
Sure, no problem.
I actually need to break out the water for this one.
No problem. So, woo! So a medium chili, again, it's kind of the jalapeno. You know, if you just take this jalapeno, you rough chop it. You chop it with onions, cilantro, tomato. You make almost like a salsa fresca, if you will, or a pico de gallo. You know, us white people call it pico de gallo. That's kind of a medium salsa for me.
Do you roast your garlic for salsas?
It depends. If I'm making like this chili arbol, of course I roast it. I roast the chilies, I roast the tomatillos, I roast the garlic, everything. It just depends on what kind of flavor of chili I want. Do I want a roasted flavor? Do I want a fresh flavor? Do I want a smoky flavor? Do I want a burn your butt off flavor?
Yeah.
Just depends on what you want.
So, you know, there's old conventional wisdom that water isn't the best way to just stop what's happening in my mouth right now.
Sorry, Al. Sorry, man.
Is there something that you recommend if somebody eats something really hot that would help?
You know, they say milk is the trick. I'm going to disagree with them. You know, I've had a couple of challenges where guys have come up to me, Chef, I can eat hotter food than you. All right, let's go. And I've eaten some hot food, and I think, well, this milk isn't doing anything. What is going on? So, you know, I think milk helps, but typically, if you just got to train your palate.
Do you, forgive me if I get this wrong, there's a word that actually is the measure of spice or of heat in a chili,
the Scoville chart.
Scoville chart, yeah. Explain a little bit about that.
Well, the Scoville chart just basically rates the chili and how hot it is. And from that, you can go online, just Google Scoville or chili pepper chart. It'll walk you through the whole entire chili, all the chilies, and how hot they really are.
Great. Well, This has been a lot of fun. We're having a
had
good
fun,
time.
too.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Thanks, man.
Make sure you check out Border Grill. They're going to be having your Patron dinner. Something that's great about that is you can sign online and join a Border Grill VIP club, and then you can go to these dinners for half price, right?
Yeah, it's a really amazing thing. I mean, if you sign up to Border Grill, our VIP program, we'll send you, our first thing is we send you a free entree. It's all good stuff. None of it is garbage emails. You know, the Tequila Dinner is another great thing. It's usually $135, $150, something like that for regulars. If you're on our VIP program, it's $75. It's a really great deal. You know, we designed the Tequila Dinner for our VIP people. So we just wanted to blow them away, say thank you, and it's evolved into this really, really big thing. So we're excited.
That's great. You know, I did have a question, an email question from a viewer, so I'm hoping you might be able to help me out in answering it if you know about it. It's from Marie, and it says, is there a place in town to purchase flavored olive oils or vinegars? Thanks, Marie. You know any place?
I think places like Sur La Table may have some. William and Sonoma will have some for sure, but in all honesty, Al, it's so easy to make your own oils. I really recommend for anybody to challenge yourself a little, to Google oils, infused oil. It's really, really easy. It's this simple thing. You heat up oil in a pan, you throw rosemary in it, you let it warm up, you sit it for about a week in a jar, you're done. That easy. If you want garlic oil, same thing. You heat up garlic and oil, you bottle it for a couple weeks, it turns into garlic oil.
Well, that sounds even better than going out and buying it in a store, absolutely.
Yeah.
But and just to answer Marie, if you do want to go out and buy it, Artisanal Foods, I know, has a few flavored oils. I think they've got Meyer Lemon and maybe some orange flavored oils. But only one or two that I know of there. I'd recommend making your own. It's so much more fun. It impresses the hell out of people.
It really does.
What I'm all about. So thanks for coming. I want to let everybody again out there, remind them, Restaurant Week. You're doing a Restaurant Week meal?
We are. We're doing a Restaurant Week meal too. You know, we have this great selection. You know, for I think it's $49. You can come in. You get a appetizer sampler. You get to pick anything on our menu. You get to pick any dessert. There's really no limitations to it.
Yeah, so please go out, explore Restaurant Week at Border Grill and about 120 other great restaurants. Incredible bargains. It goes to a good cause. Remember, you can find me at almancini.net, and you can also buy my book, which is called Eating Las Vegas, the 50 Essential Restaurants. One of the restaurants, of course, being Border Grill.
Yes, we're very proud to be in your book.
Proud to have you in the book.
Thank you.
So thanks for watching. I'll be back next week. Not quite sure what we're talking about next week, but I promise it won't burn my mouth as much as this one did. Cheers.